Hello, my most amazing artists. So today we're going to be talking about hearts again, and we are going to look at Jim Dine as well as the artist Chris Uphughes for inspiration for our hearts. Now, you probably got a lot of practice in your sketchbook, which is great, but now we need to get onto this paper that looks a little bit like this. I'll have them up on my desk at the front. You're welcome to get one, put your name on the back, not on the front. It's more important that it's on the back only, not on the front with your drawing. And then you can start drawing your very best heart design. So I had already drawn mine last week in the video that I showed you, but now something's a little different. If you're completely done drawing, which I do want you to think about exactly what you want to draw. Say after looking at Chris Uphughes, if you want to add some hearts to those eyes, that would be a good idea. You could add some hearts. Or, eyes to, eyes to your heart. If you want to add eyes to your heart, that would be a great idea. Or, let's see, eyes and eyelashes. Maybe I'll add a face. But it's important, no matter what you add, that you just have simple lines and nothing that's colored in. We're not going to color these in because we're going to get to do that when we make our stamp. So, if you have this paper all done exactly how you want it, and that you want it to be your stamp that you get to do over and over again, then you are going to give it to Miss Q at the front when she's ready. And what I'll do is I'll tape your paper onto a piece of styrofoam. This is like what you get at a restaurant if you ever take home your food in a takeout container or take-home box. It's called styrofoam. So this actually, we're able to carve into it to make our stamps. It's styrofoam, so a piece of foam. It's really important that you do not break it or bend it or play with it too much because it'll crack and you only get one. So really treat this nicely. She's going to put your name on the back of this, but I'll put my name and I'll put KL for my class code. So you should have that on the back of your paper so she can just copy it down really quick. Now, she'll have to tape it on there. I just taped it onto the foam. And the reason is because you're going to take a pen and trace over all of your lines. Now, when you're tracing over all of your lines, you want to hear a crinkly noise. It's okay if the paper tears, actually. Let's see, can you hear that? Oh. If you can hear the crinkly noise, that means that it's carving into it below. It's carving into that styrofoam, and that's exactly what we want to make a print. So I'm going over all of my lines, making sure you don't forget anything, because if you forget a line, that's going to be an important part of your stamp that's going to be missing underneath, because this paper on top is not going to be what we use for our stamp. It's going to be what we're tracing onto the paper behind it. So I don't need my sketchbook anymore, so I put that away. That was just for our ideas if you practiced a heart you really loved. Now, it's okay if this paper rips. Like I said, look, mine's ripping right now as I'm tracing. We're going to end up throwing that paper away, or you can keep it if you like. But go over all of those lines, and then when you trace over all of them and you hear that crinkling sound, you want to hear the noise, you want to maybe see your paper ripping. When you think you're done, you can peek below it. Now, you're not going to see what I see here, which is my pen, because I already went over my lines. But you're going to see something more like this face here. You can just see a little bit about what you drew over there. But now, if you can see all of those lines, then you can take it off. If you can't, say if you're missing something, if you go, oh, I forgot my nose or I forgot my eye, you would want to go back and trace over that. But since I have all my lines here, I can take off the paper, and now I have to do it all over again. You've got to trace over everything twice. So I'm going to go in with my pen again, go over those eyes, really making sure I'm pressing into that foam. That way I get a good print when I'm ready to do the magic part. All right, you need to go over everything twice, and Miss Q will probably keep sending you back and back until you've gone over twice in pen. She will be able to tell if you haven't, because she can see those pen lines. So the first time when you trace it with the paper over top, you won't see your lines. You'll just see the print that goes in there. It'll be clear, or you won't see much, just a line like that one right there. And then when you go over it the second time, you'll see your pen lines. So you're really pressing, but not so hard that you're pressing through the foam. You don't want to rip a hole in it, but you want to be able to feel them. All right, once you're all done with that, you get to color it with some markers. All right, artists, so when you're all done tracing over, and after you've asked Miss Q that you can start, you're going to get to color in your printing plate. That's what this is called, a printing plate. You're going to get to color it in with marker. Now, you want to color in the whole thing. So if you're going to start in the middle, that would be a good idea. color over everything.
You don't leave any white space on your printing plate. You want to have nice thick marker lines. Alright, once you're all done coloring, you can be careful with your fingers if you need to wash them, you can. Now I just want to give you a quick preview of what we'll be doing. You will be having a sponge that you squeeze out really good, and I'll go over this again next week. I'll be asking you to sponge your paper down and get it a little bit wet. Then, you'll be flipping this paper over, sticking it on your printing plate, and rolling it with a roller.